that I'm kind of curious about is Dima had a pink cow on top of his monitor. Perched right there.
It's kind of like a far gone tradition, if not like a little bit of a... What? Yeah, I know it is. Box over here waving at me while I'm telling this story. No, but like players used to play. There's the pink elephant.
There's the
right
pink
there,
cow,
man.
yeah.
Like I had a lion on mine.
Okay.
Like Lex's lion or whatever, and you know, an e-girl or somebody who maybe is your girlfriend at the time gets you a cool stuffed animal to wish you good luck while at an event, keep you company. That's like where I think it originally started.
It's like tying the maiden's scarf on a lance.
Yeah,
Knights used to do that
like
when they
yellow
jousted.
ribbon and whatever else.
Yeah, there
but
you go.
What I will say is this: is I do think for some players it's kind of like become some kind of a you know, a quirk or a nuance or a thing that like, okay, people in your region know that you're the pink elephant guy.
Yeah.
You got to keep it up,
Branding.
even if you're going to rank S Combine.
Branding.
Here we go. Pistol round.
So this is Mirage. A little bit more defined in the meta, if you will, than in Vertigo. Gonna be Seangares starting on the CT side. There's a Scaries Baers. And the Doodle Baers just flooding out of the apartment.
Or in market right now on CT. They were playing some sort of like a retake on B here, and it's just a firing squad. Zydish on one with Skadoodle. 5-on-4 now. Post-plant situation. Torres with another. Now it's a 5-on-3. Zydish taking another goosh, but now it's a 4-on-2, 3-on-2. The numbers keep falling for the Terror side. Now it's Kiro Kami in a 1v3, trying to close this out, holding on as long as he can.
You think after the first time they peeked into market and there were just 3 players watching one angle? It's
freaked
like,
out.
Don't peek that.
I don't know what the comms were like.
Don't touch that.
Don't peek that way.
Just don't. Just don't. No.
Yeah, I don't know exactly if I can make any sort of a prediction on this. I think we kind of touched on it in the pregame, but Seangares kind of picking the 4 Euros. For them, it's probably just like another FPL game. Communication probably isn't the biggest deal. I think they're probably just going to have fun with it, try and win. On the other side, I think Skadoodle has a pretty solid roster. I remember before everything started today, I was like, huh, that 5 could surprise people, and almost is a favorite for me for...
I mean, I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to go for the Doodle Bears. That's my pick.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit of a risky pick after they
right?
lose the... I could go over 2. You know, I believe in playing fast and loose.
I like
you know?
it.
Taking
I
chances. Crashy's rewarding my chances with a nice dig shot down. That was from the A ramp, I believe. And now he's working his way out, but it's only going to be 1. Aim punch, a little too much to overcome. So they're getting picked apart here. It's a pretty decent defense from the Scaries Bears. They've given a little bit of space towards B, but as we saw in the pistol, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And maybe the lurk out underpass, but Dima's watching this. Dima's so ready for this. He's going to have him dead as soon as his head peeks over the ledge. Or he's going to miss the spray.
Until he's dead. There it is.
There it is.
You called it. Be about over. Torres picking up a 4th on the round, I believe. Nevertheless, I really do think that there's a lot of talent on Skadoodle's roster here, and I was joking about it, but I was like, all in all, like in terms of current form, I wouldn't be surprised to call Skadoodle maybe the weakest player on his squad right now, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. You got you know, some fresh MDL talent scattered amidst your 5 there, and certainly players that are no stranger to rank G and rank S. So should be interesting. I think this is going to be maybe the most interesting matchup we have this morning, but we'll see. I might be speaking way too soon here.
It's going to be player down mid. Crash is not even going to stick towards the chair. He just wants to get forward, playing on the edge of the smoke. Dima could actually read this hard and will do exactly that as the legs spoke out. Dima just knocking heads. Will eventually be claimed, but that was a good presence to just take control of mid.
Yeah, I think on the CT side, especially on a map like Mirage, where you spread out on the default a lot of time on T side, it's going to be really difficult. You don't have inherent kind of chemistry with all of your teammates. You didn't sort all of these things out right away necessarily. Maybe you talked about who's playing where, but you're going to be rewarded for just kind of like unparalleled aggression on the CT side. Like Dima dropping out a window there, smokes off the underpass, and just able to take 2 fights where, I mean, the opposing team wasn't really ready for the fights. I'm not sure who got dropped there at mid over towards Chimney and top mid boxes, but I think we're going to see that a lot out of both CT sides. Just a lot of pushes, a lot of aggression, and try and blow up any T-side defaults.
Now this is great. They've pushed a player in towards Palace, and that allows them to hedge two towards B, because they're just confident that nothing's coming towards A, and if it does, they've got the backstab potential, right? So they're kind of feeding right into exactly what they want. Sean is perfectly positioned to, as they hop down, just find one, and the second as well. MP9 wrecking havoc. I almost want to see just early on from the Doodle side, just a pretty simple straight execute, just to, you know, get it into the gunfight. Don't worry about the setup early on. Just sort of make it happen. I mean, it's early days, right? 3 rounds in, but they're not looking too decisive early.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at. Is a lot of times when you're working with a default that isn't prepared for all the potential outcomes, you're going to run into aggression that is going to punish you, and that's what happened in that last round. However, another eco. Actually, some players did force buy. Got a couple Dig armors, Digs across the board, and a scout on Kuro Kami. Right now, you're just looking for some kills. You're going to get that round loss bonus either way and drop to 11 view. 2 nades to the face. But when you're working with Deagles on an eco anyway, a lot of times you're going for a one-and-done swing shot. And there it is. Skadoodle dropping Dima for 5v5, or 5v4 now. It's actually a first time, I think, that Doodle Baers have achieved some map ground out of a pick.
They've got space in. That was a big swing. Could have changed it a lot, but Skadoodle's retrieved a rifle, and now he's doing damage with it. There's the tags from the scout, but no kill found, unfortunately. That's the big gun out of play as well. There's a player tucked in towards Van, who's kind of just isolated and forced into that. It's going to be Seb. He'll be mopped up. Bombs all the way alone on Crashies, who's beating his way towards A. And if he finds this initial pick, if he just takes the Deagle shot and rips ahead from shoulders, he could actually get a bomb plant out of this. There is no one to really be able to retake it. And there's the spot. He knows he's got an open sight. So a bomb plant for sure, and considering how little they brought into the round, not a terrible result.
Yeah. If he gets one more kill here, there it is, dropping Innocent. And actually, Zydish is on 6 HP currently. Seangares moving over from the other side of the map. I believe that's him at Catwalk. They'll be retaking this site together from that jungle area. And Crashies right now, I mean, this is a very potential round win for them right now.
He's playing this so well. He's taking time off, but he splits the difference as they come around the corner with the Deagle shot. Goes astray, and the opportunity slips away from him. So well recovered by the Scaries Baers, but still, 3 players down, bomb plant. Not bad, Crashies.
Yeah. As far as like eco objectives go, I mean, even if you're investing a significant amount, maybe dropping 1,700 on Deagle armor or whatever, like you want to at least achieve one, if not both of those objectives. And it's a good day when you get both, because not only are you keeping the CT side money in check, but you're supplanting your own team with whatever utility and weapons they want in the next round. I mean, with the new economy, it's a lot more loose than it was before, but certainly these guys have no shortage of money here. And maybe this is going to turn into some kind of a con split. We have 3 towards top, mid, and 2 at A ramp. So this might be what you were looking for. You mentioned last round is just maybe like a set play. Could be Puggy, could be not, but make it some sort of a 5-man play somewhere.
Just give themselves a situation where everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, keep it simple. Just work on some trades, and I think they'll be okay. And here it is. They're coming up calm. And that's actually a jungle stair smoke in front of him, so he gets the free one on a Taurus, and now it's a 5-on-3 with just Innocent over here towards the A ramp position, and he will fall as well. Now it is a 4-on-2. A bomb site is forfeit. Crashies is going to get a free one on a Dima. And with a 4-on-1, Seangares may opt to, you know, maybe get a kill or 2 here, and then kind of have an aggressive save, but
I mean, the money's not fantastic for him.
Here, you know? Yeah.
Innocence next to broke, 800. So if he sits on this, he'll be able to toss this gun over, buy 1 extra for Taurus, and they'll have a comfortable buy going into the next one. He doesn't really want to drop. There's the spot into underpass, so he knows they're hunting. And the patience from Sean, the veteran leader. Just be sitting at the top of mid and trying to keep this alive.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful execute out of Doodle Baers, considering they're a bug team. I mean, they're throwing stairs in jungle, and so that means a lot of the CT players have their attention diverted towards what would normally be a standard A execute. And they masked their top-mid con split by just kind of waiting behind the top-mid smoke a few extra seconds longer. And they were able to get some map positioning for free, essentially. And I think it was Beauty with 2 there? I think he got 2 on the entry.
Boot, yeah. Came out connector.
No, it was well played by him. I mean, just he might have just gotten a piece of his elbow poked through that smoke on the first one, but the second one towards A ramp on Innocent, you know, being able to convert that 2-0 with no trades for the CTs, it pretty much makes it an automatic save at that point, no matter how the rest of the round turns out.
It's a good round, too, because it gets everyone on the board for the T side, so they can sort of shake off those nerves and get into it. It's going to be Taurus getting aggressive, some pepper up damage, but he doesn't really connect whatsoever, so it looked like that kind of lined up. But The CS god said no. He gets aggressive, though. He wanted that frag. He's going to go right back in towards mid and is somehow completely unpunished for it. Slips away, finds the kill, and now this could get risky, especially as Zadish's position doesn't get fully cleared, so the trades are there, but they haven't really been seized upon. The Doodle Baers now kind of in an awkward spot, sort of stuck out in mid, being poked at from every side. They've got to find some sort of damage. It's just not coming.
Yeah, right now they're looking at, I think it's 0 for 3. Whoa, crashes with 2 makes it a little bit more respectable, but when you're looking at basically 0 for 3 on your defaults with no entries going your way, I think, I'm not going to say that the rest of this half kind of hinges on what we were talking about before with doing something together, something that is a, you know, you're going to have a lot more control in the round. That guy just walking out of connector, of course there's not going to be a trade for Bew. I mean, the fact that there's 3 people there, you would think that maybe somebody would be able to pick up that angle and trade it, but with a proper flashbang over the top of mid, just unfortunate. Now you're looking at 5-1. You get another buy here, and maybe we're gonna get a little bit creative with the way they're running this default. Maybe delay it a bit. See crashes towards mid, just drawing attention more or less.
So Skadoodle, of course, legendary major winning opper. He's got the op. First op of the game so far. T-side op maybe not as prevalent on this map, but you're gonna see him doing it. And, oh, there's the peak. Out of Palace. Is Zadish going to give it to him? It's a waiting game now, just to see who's going to blink first. And it's definitely what the Doodle Baers are hoping for. Their whole setup is to react if he gets this initial pick. And I think there's going to be enough patience out from Zadish that they just might not see it.
There it is. Skadoodle finding the opening onto Torres, and now the A ramp explode is out. Ska grabbing another one onto Zydish, and now it's a 5-on-3. CT's potentially already considering a save, but Kiro onto Dima. Now Seangares and Innocent left with an almost unachievable task. Seangares will grab one, but the choice will still be to save.
So this is now 2 times that we've seen the save come out early from the Scaries Baers. They've been pretty rock solid on most rounds, but when they lose, it seems like they lose quickly. Innocent gets himself a nice little exit, a little party favor as they dash. And they're just going to relax here. Don't think we'll see too much of a hunt out from the Doodle Baers. We certainly should.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't the biggest deal if they even keep these guns. You've kind of strategically, you're a step ahead of Scaries Baers right now. Your default wasn't working. They were able to get all the information on you. And then twice now on their executes, they run a con split that's masked by top mid smoke. And then right there, they just kind of fake the B aggression. Ska gets that pick towards stairs, and his teammates are already ready to set up with an A-ramp explode. It's beautiful to watch, even though it's, you know, on the fly, and this is something that they maybe discussed 10 or 15 seconds prior, but picking up that second one, might see here in a few seconds, it's strong as ever to have that op posted there after you've gotten that initial pick, because, I mean, not only are you a threat to CTs, they're not going to want to cross, they're not going to want to peek, and they're eternally basically living in fear of your existence. There's not a whole lot they can do about it. Especially on limited utility late round. But now we're back in our 5-on-5.
It's going to be interesting if we see anyone really want to go toe-to-toe with Ska on that off.
Yeah, that's the question. I don't even know if anybody on the CT side is like a main opper per se.
Someone's got to pick it up, right? Someone's got to take the sacrifice and say, all right, we're going to do this. In the meantime, though, they're really bunched up in towards A. It's a bit of a gamble-type play. I mean, you've just got Seangares as sort of the sole anchor on towards B, which, of course, can work out. And just may, as it looks like once again they want to go for that con play in towards A. It's the split as well. Forward positioning in towards A ramp could be deadly. Innocent's holding that spot, and he is well positioned to anticipate this potential setup.
Yeah, on a low buy, you maybe take a few more risks than you normally would. And leaning towards this A stack just means, you know, if you're willing to give up some map control, like Zadish getting picked there by Seb at that window jungle area, basically seeding all of mid and most of upper B all towards the terrorist side, and now this A split is going to come in, and it has everything to do with whether or not Innocent can hold this bomb as long as he can. It's down towards that A ramp position. He's supported by Taurus, holding this pallet by Tetris. Unfortunately, their flank has now been completely destroyed. Dima will fall, Taurus will fall. Innocent burning, also going to fall to Seb. That's a 3-on-1. Seangares looking to be the hero. He's not going to get it. Finds one. 5-on-3. Doodle Baers just understanding that, you know, Scaries Baers, regardless of how their buy is, they're going to be playing that information game and trying to lean towards whatever the terrorists are doing. But you give them nothing, you throw an execute, and here it is. Doodle Baers with 3 on the board. Already looking strong.
They've settled in. They've settled in very well. And that op from Sky is sort of leading it a little bit, I would say, just in terms of the way they're using it to try and open things.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about it before the segment started, and I know I joked that, you know, about Ska not being necessarily the strongest player, but genuinely, I mean, he's kind of an unknown factor when it comes to the rest of the captains with how active he's been, but certainly they're playing a lot of Apex. Crash is actually going to take the brunt of this eco push towards mid. Bu finds one, Seangares trades that out, and Seb with 2 to follow. Now it's a 2-on-4. Crashy is low, but other than Crashies, it will just be a cleanup for the rest of the T's. I just will find one before he falls, and Innocent just looking for economic damage at this point. If he can maybe salvage an AK.
Nice dunk shot from Innocent. That's a gun retrievable as well. He can get this out of there. He can get the weapon secreted away and stash it. That's exactly what he's going to do. There's the AK, a little bit of utility salvaged as well. So he's making out like a bandit on this eco. 2 players alive. They're definitely going to get conservative. Does he want to challenge this?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because I think they can buy next either way. Well, there it is. Skadoodle shutting it down. But the idea that maybe your teammate called that one was dinked or low, so you know that Crashies is potentially out of the play, and it's a one-on-one versus Ska if he's playing safe. So not a poor idea. However, didn't go his way. 5-4. Doodle Baers with a strong resurgence into this half. And as we're nearing that 2/3 mark, you got to wonder, Scaries Baers, was this €4 stack the play?
I don't know. We haven't really seen an issue with the comms, right? Which was the big concern.
Sure.
Coming into it, they've been relatively coordinated.
Let's spam A ramp and then swing out Palace. That is the definition of rank S right there. Seb finding 2 huge frags with a beautiful bait and switch from that spam from Crashies. Dima hoping to stop a plant with a mean spray on a Skadoodle, but standing on the head of an enemy.
Dima knew there was somebody on top of him. He actually thought he had hopped down next to him. Just spray just goes awry, and right at the edge of smoke, Zadish is the next to fall. It's tied up here, 5-5. The Doodle Bears have made the comeback happen.
That's fun. I like that play. Crash is making a ton of noise towards A ramp. Basically, it means if you're at home and you're not quite sure what you just watched, he's masking the sound of all of his teammates rushing through Palace onto the A bomb site. They're knife out, running the whole way, making all kinds of noise. So you mask it by either dropping a Molotov or spamming your AK a bunch. And the CTs were actually none the wiser. I actually saw it work right there. They were coming close A ramp and just didn't even think twice that maybe they could be at Palace already. Ska opening with 1, Crashes with another. And this light eco coming out from Scaries Baers getting picked apart immediately. Now we're in a 5-on-1 Dima with it all to do with B.
Bu is at least susceptible to the deagle shot. I mean, anywhere on his body, it's going to drop him, but this is not looking like a round where there's a whole lot of promise. 30 seconds in and just dismantled. There wasn't a ton to work with, but they're making sure that they get absolutely nothing out of it. So the Doodle Bears play effectively. They slow down when they're waiting for it and just wait for him to sort of make something happen. And of course, it's not really going to. So now we're going to see another buy come out. The AWP I don't think is available. It's going to be AUGs across the board, though. 1 single M4 to complement it. So maybe work in that solid AUG scope. See what you can do with it.
If you're on the CT side here, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I think you need to see some calculated aggression.
Okay.
They've been sort of giving the Doodle Bears a lot of time to do whatever they're going to do, and the Doodle Bears are kind of just going for, this is our play. Oh, nice push into mid. Bu just opening that up like an absolute can opener. Swiss Army knife just chewing away here. Dima answers back, but he's knocked down quite low, so he's going to fall off of that angle a little bit. The utility's good. It's tearing it apart, and Zadish takes advantage. The AUG's setting up a crossfire. It's just Kirokami, who's at least got the bomb to his control, but 1 minute 25 seconds on the clock and a whole lot of ground to cover. Problem is Zadish and Dima are both 1 shot away. Won't matter, though, as he encounters Innocent, who is just fine and going to do the damage.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't actually see a whole lot of aggression there, but what did happen was they locked down mid for the first time since, I think it was maybe around 1 or 2. I mean, just being able to shut down, that may have been a B split or just an aggressive default coming out from the T's, but stepping up there at Cat, being able to find those entries definitely helps. But, you know, getting stonewalled at bricks kind of just turns that B split into a really, really dicey situation for anybody who's left outside at ladder room. And things don't go their way. 6-6. CT's finally back on the board.
Now, this is interesting. Seb, they haven't really probed towards apartments in quite a while, and he might find opportunity. He knows that Sean is there, and he's going to eventually find it. The molly went straight into the smoke. Dima knocked off of his perch, thought he was going to come away with that frag, and the damage is done, but they're not finding the kills, and it's Zadish alone, wondering where on earth his team is gone. And it's looking like Doodle Baers, they're going to hit that reset button real hard. Now, of course, not as much of a punishment anymore in the new meta, but it's still not a good feeling when you can only get one round and get it isolated.
No, certainly not. And I mean, just by the way this half has been going in terms of just momentum and confidence, like any meta money definitely will help when it comes to utility, but the momentum train is in full force in favor of Doodle Baers at the moment, and the fact that they've just reclaimed back-to-back, I mean, well, it's like you said, the reset isn't exactly the biggest deal. It's that they found some success stopping Doodle Baers, and now it's just kind of like, well, what do we do, man? So I think, you know, low buys coming in the last 2 rounds, they may choose to buy out, or 3 rounds rather, or 2 rounds, they may choose to buy out. Regardless, I think it's important that they at least get one more, maybe both would be great if you can manage that. But it'll be interesting to see them on T side, because this is kind of, I expected Scaries Baers to actually be much stronger on CT here.
Yeah.
When we first started casting this, just our conversations together, I kind of expected that this would be a you know, a closer bout, but regardless, I just expected that maybe the Doodle Baers wouldn't be as organized or be able to. I don't know why I'm expecting anything, man. This is a rank S combat.
There are no
Anything
expectations.
Yeah.
It's madness. There's the shot. Innocent has the AWP. He's going to be squaring off against Skan, and that really is the hero buy in this round. He's invested in his Polish comrade. Reitz was doing well in the previous game. We'll see if he can answer that back with a little performance of his own. As it is, mid control has fallen, firmly taken, and they are setting up, it seems, for an A execute. Player in towards connector. There are 3 players bunched from the CT side. Immediately, they only have pistols to work with. But this still could be a really rude surprise if they do decide to complete this execute on day. And as more time ticks down, that seems to be the answer. The question is, does the connector player come out in time to just tell them exactly what's happening?
Well, I think Crashies will get plenty of info here.
Now the body's dropping. Zadish only gets 1. I mean, Innocent answers back at least from range, but they're going to want to keep that AWP up. There's no real reason to commit this. Bomb will be planted, and you've got so little to work with that you just need to keep that AWP alive. Frankly, keeping the armor up on Taurus might be useful in the next, but Crashies is already on the flank. There's no chance they're keeping this AWP. He's hopping around. He doesn't even expect it as of yet, but Crashies has just been pushing constantly, and that's going to be the easy mop-up. Just Taurus with a CZ, who at this point might as well try and take a gun out of their hands, try and find something. But there's little to no opportunity.
Very interesting. I mean, we kind of, again, I keep referencing these conversations we had 20 minutes ago, but, you know, when it comes to Doodle Baers, I assume someone like Kirokami might be IGLing or calling strats for them on the fly, and it's definitely showing. Like, the organization, just the timing of some of these executes, choosing to work the anti-eco in an intelligent way rather than just being, you know, perhaps overconfident or just playing really puggy CS. It wouldn't necessarily pay off against good players. So the 5 of them collectively playing with a little bit of chemistry right now, I think should be a little bit of a wake-up call, if not just put on alert the rest of the teams here. That Doodle Baers could be a strong opponent. Certainly they're proving against Scaries Baers here as this A ramp contact coming out. Crashies falls. Innocent doing tons of damage to Kirokami and Boo. Now they're going to cancel and just reset off this. I believe there's still 1 player towards Tetris. He's going to fall. That's Kirokami. And now it's a 3-on-5. Scaries Baers poised to close out the last round of this half, make it 8-7. Innocent, aggressive, hot on the pounce, finds one into Boo, and now it's 2-on-5. Seb, Skadoodle, tall tasks ahead.
Nice opener for Seb, and he had the right idea for the second, but he swings off of his own call just a little bit too early. Skan tries to take matters into his own hands. Not going to happen. So good response there. It's interesting to me that the Doodle Baers really stuck with that A pick after losing the damage. They didn't really have a commitment to it. The bomb was down behind. They could have gone and retrieved it and bailed out, but they stick with their guns, and this time it doesn't quite work out. Now, good performers from the early half. One player I'm impressed by, Boo. Coming out of rank G, a little bit of a lesser-known name than a lot of these, and he's making a pretty good case for himself. A couple big impact frags, nice openers. There was that one round where he came out connector and got 2, but playing pretty effectively.
Yeah. No, and Zydish on the other side,
Zydish
16
definitely.
and 9. I mean, he's had a few different moments during the half where he really stepped up and found some multi-frags that I think on at least one occasion net them around just basically off his own volition, you know, being able to find 2 when normally maybe your teammates would expect you to get one. It's kind of a toss-up when it comes to these pug teams. You never really know how hard you can trust a teammate to step up in those situations, but there is hope moving to this T side. I mean, you still have Seangares IGLing, I assume anyway, and it's a close game. So
it'd be a surprise if he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's the team captain too on top of that. So, Doodle Baers, Scaries Baers.
It's seeming like we're going to get a repeat of at least the T-side pistol round. This time there's not 4 players bunched up in the market, though. It's going to be Crash. He's tapping away with the USP. Bu holding from back by the bench. He's trying to find some heads. They'll eventually run him down. They're overwhelming the site and taking forward position, but they're not really finding the kills to complement it. As Seb drops, at least they have the control of the immediate bomb site, but the flank is on. Ska's already up in the apartments. There's players coming out market, and it is going to be Demo who gets run down by the bench for the Doodle Baers to pick up the second half pistol.
Well done. I mean, when it comes to closing out this game, it's one thing to have all the momentum in the world and confidence and whatever else, but at the end of the day, it comes down to winning rounds in pistol. I mean, definitely not as paramount as it used to be, and Caster's talking about how important pistol rounds are by the wayside, I think, for the most part. Nevertheless,
it's still like an easy 2, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're still looking at money that you otherwise wouldn't, so worth mentioning. Certainly it does worlds for your confidence to be able to farm ecos, which really is what it's all about. Stack that RWS, farm as much ADR as possible within 30 rounds, and brag to your friends. So
that's the strategy. That's Lex's tips for succeeding in Rank S and Rank G. Farm
honestly,
as much ADR as possible.
Probably.
Get those stats. Who cares if the team wins?
Yeah, I mean, oh man.
Look at this push. There you go.
Confidence.
Farming the ADR.
The ADR.
He listened. He
I'm
heard
wrong.
you. He heard you in his ears. He was like, all right, my guardian angel is telling me to chase ecos. And there he goes. Gets the last one with a USP. Stays alive with 3 HP as well.
If you live picking up a multi-frag on an eco round, that next gun round, you're over-peaking something. Your confidence is through the roof. Crash is going to wide peek mid right here. Calling it right now.
Calling it right now? Wide swing mid. All right.
Stairs, one or the other.
Let's watch Crashies early on.
I love this, though. Like, just you have the info, one's under window, peek together. Him and Scott just on the jump.
All right, where's Crashies going? Player 9, he's going straight in.
He lost the B-hop. He's
Palace.
still going to go underpass. Oh! I said he was going to overpeak mid or stairs. I was wrong on both marks. He pushed Palace instead.
Palace instead. He does a ton of damage. Info.
I would do the same thing,
kill.
Crashies. Just so you know, when I'm feeling really confident, I'm going to put my team at a disadvantage immediately. Kirokami, evening things back out. 4-on-4 with that MP9. I believe that was some underpass aggression, and Skadoodle's going to answer one on the innocent at Khan. Traded out by Dima. 3-on-3, A bomb site. Held, cling to, desperately by Bu, and if he's able to find one here, I mean, Dima's really low,
flank coming in.
really low. And
back in T-spawn. Kirokami's all the way through. They have no idea he's here. The player jungle distracted them just enough to not really check it, and while it won't yield much, it does slow them down, and that means the Palace flank is coming through. That nade might actually find it. It does. Sean out. Now it's just Zadish, who as soon as he taps this bomb is going to get backstab. He may not even get the chance. He's running. He has put on his Nikes, and he is fleeing the scene of the crime.
Kiro has that info, though. And Seb's already working underpass back to upper B. I mean, Kiro just needs to spot for info at mid for a few seconds, bounce back to A, and just figure out if he's there or not. Seb will have it in a few minutes no matter what. And there it is. Zadish falls. Wow. I mean, we saw a Palace push. We saw an underpass push. One paid off. One did not. And now you're looking at 11-7. This is what I mean by the unparalleled aggression on a CT side Mirage. Like, if you're working up against a default, you basically put yourself in the driver's seat the whole round. Well done, Doodle Baers.
Over on the Doodle Baers, we've got 3 different colors of the same headphone, and I just enjoy that. All the colors of the rainbow.
Is it the Game Zeros?
Cloud 2s, I think.
Cloud 2s?
You've got the C9 ones on Ska. You've got the gold edition on Kirokami, and you've got the reds back on Crashy, I think. Wow. The whole color palette of headphones. That's aggression out from Ska, and Zadish was waiting for it. It's been a couple rounds in a row where they've gotten super aggressive, and so now the Doodle Baers are sort of being punished for it. Scaries just waiting for that and then executing on the back of it. Tons of utility sailing into A. Flashes blooming every which way. It's the Rocket's red glare going off. Bombs now going to be planted as they are not bursting in air. but it is early aggression and early space gain. They're making the pistols work for them. Now the retake is on. Kirakami leading the charge. He's got support as well, but swinging back and forth. Seangares going to put the Tech 9 to work, and the bodies are dropping for the CT side. This is looking like the Scary Bears might steal this away. All on Dima. Here's the tap. They're pulling off of it, though, and coming through the smoke. Seb's waiting for it. Mopped up. That was looking so very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not Zydish even had armor, but regardless, he had the AK coming out of A ramp there, finding the first one close, not able to find a second one. But, I mean, it enabled him to get a bomb plant at least, get some map control and gain some ground, create some time and space for his teammates to push up and maybe find some more frags. They only found 3 on the round, but overall, 12-7 now. Doodle Bears poised to take this one away. Scaries Bears will have a few more opportunities to form their rebuttal. This will be one, as they have a full buy coming out. And they have found some success, I think, kind of grouping and going like that last round. Just being able to find one before pushing into the bomb site. But it looks like we're back towards somewhat of a default for Scaries Bears. We'll see what comes of it.
Taurus' spot. View is just watching this. He's so very ready for it. He wants him to just come around the corner. The problem is going to be if he gets swung from chair, and the clock in his head is saying that's now a possibility, so he's got to get out of the spot. That's exactly what he'll do. The nade goes in, just reminds him that there is presence in towards connector, and they have to respect it a little bit. But firm mid-control taken now by the Scaries Bears. The question is, what can they do with that? I mean, this is a team with Seangares at the brain. There's a lot that you can work with mid-control and Mirage. It's certainly an integral part of most executes, but look at the reaction from the CTs. They've got a player into Palace. That's going to be Kirakami, who's been doing this a lot
since the beginning of the round. So that's why they kind of gave mid, is they knew right away that they had some positioning and map advantage towards A. Be interesting to see what they do with this. I mean, they know that they're there, right? Seb peeks into it, loses the gun battle somehow. Beautiful shots from Zydish, I guess. I really thought he was going to have at least one there.
It seemed like it. The spray was just too good. Ska gets a kill, though. They're knocked down as they move in towards site, and I don't think Kirakami's revealed himself yet, so now the peek comes in, but Sean was just waiting for it. Finds the frag instead. Trades are going out, and Scaries Bears, they're coming out on top. This might be their first round of the T-half. It's been a bit of a slog to get here, but now they're ready. Problem is they still have to hold down this post plant, and Crashies is out on site, knows where the first is, can't win the duel, and Ska's just got the op, trying to make noise, trying to bait out the peak, and somehow that doesn't find a frag. That's just a leg shot instead. He's going to go with a shotgun op, and it's not going to pay out.
You hate to see it. He's able to pick up the leg. I mean, that round was actually really important for Doodle Bears to put this one away. And I kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the round, but now at least for Scaries Bears, you've kept the CT's money in check, and you just found your first round win on the board. So you have a little bit of a baby bank that you're going to be working up with. So, I mean, this deficit is not too great for them to overcome, especially if they crack some grand scheme to their T side, find some momentum, finding some entries. You know, they were able to find the first frags there. And Doodle Bears may be getting a little overzealous with how much map control they were given and how much they needed to respect this mid control out of Scaries Bears, but here we are.
Look at this response. Kirakami and Skadoodle, they've got the double op out, and Ska strikes already. Crashes gets aggressive, finds the perfect timing and the bomb as well. That's huge, and the follow-up kill. How has he done that with a FAMAS? Kirakami chimes in with the second op. This is turning out perfectly for the Doodle Bears, and Seb now just trying to find that last little kill. The upgrade of the gun nearly reveals himself. There's just one player in towards the Palace, and that's all they've got. Innocent spotted.
Crashies. Whiff.
That's unfortunate.
But, you know, the round's pretty much all set. I mean, you know what? I'm not going to say something like that and then watch Innocent 1v5 this, but
he's got time.
It's difficult. That's hard to do.
No control of the bomb. They've all got their eyes right where he's coming from. I mean, it just feels inevitable, right?
I mean, this map in particular, I mean, that round right there is the perfect way to sum up what it's like to play Rank G and Rank S Mirage, where just like every CT in response to your round win is now pushing, peeking their spot. There's double ops on the map, and it's just like, what do? Do you just flash everything and hope? Crashies, no flash, nothing. FAMAS, walking into ramp, finding a headshot.
That's just ridiculous.
I'd throw my headset.
That's ridiculous.
And if I'm Zydish, I'm even more angry.
Because you knew he was there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. Beautiful play from Crashies. Ultimately, you got to take your hat off and be like, hey, that's a nice call, you guys. Like, Doodle Bears just dominating. Crashies will fall that time. He's 1 for 3 on the pushes. You love to see it. Ska finding another one. Seb with his own. Now it's a 4-on-3 situation. Dima doing his darndest to even the odds. Unfortunately, now it's Seangares and Innocent. Scaries is actually working out upper B, and there's nobody home. Somebody's towards Catwalk, and I do not know whether or not he's been spotted. Kiro has a hunch, if nothing else. No, Seangares finds that. Now it's a 2-on-2. B bomb site in the possession of Scaries Baers. And Seangares and Innocent. Probably the...
There's no way he expects him this close.
I don't even...
I love it. That's so well played from
He must
Sean.
have heard that footstep coming up from Cat. Mindful of sound as ever. Skadoodle swinging through B-bomb site now. Needs to hit a quick scope. Needs to do some highlight reel. Oh my gosh, an Innocent going to take him down from behind. You hate to see it. I was about to hype up the Skadoodle clutch. Didn't happen.
He had the moment. If he had hit that first shot on the Catwalk player, it's absolutely viable, but without, there's just too many directions to peek. He has really no information to operate off of other than that there was a player Catwalk. That's so tough. So the Scaries Baers, they're not out of this. They're making a case for it. It took them a while to get started on their T side, but now they're settling in. Zaydish still a very strong performer for that side. I mean, 20 frags, 20 and 16. He's looking rock solid. The question is, can the rest of his team keep up? So they've got a 4-round deficit. If the Doodle Bears take a big round, it could be all over. But this time they're just going to be on pistols.
Yeah, I was in the player lounge talking to Zaydish a bit, and he seemed to be very confident that he was going to play well. A Swede, I believe, playing former teammates with some of my former teammates over in Sweden. Shout out Devil Walk. But 13-9 now. I mean, Doodle Bears not a whole lot they can get done this round. They got a frag on Dima already. Zaydish is low on HP, but 7 Ska probably not able to do a whole lot more here. Certainly not hoping for a round win at all. But when it's all said and done and the round is concluded, you're more than likely going to be looking at 13-10. Innocent finds another one on the Seb. B-bomb site now firmly in possession of the T's. And, I mean, 13-10 is definitely, as far as confidence goes and how you're feeling moving into the rest of the half on the T side. Suddenly it's like, wow, that deficit that we had, it's pretty small now, and this is doable. I mean, they started the half 8-7. Ska actually able to grab one to Zaydish. And it doesn't have huge ramifications, but he might be able to steal an AK and get away with this. And there was a thought.
He was so close.
And then there's reality.
It was almost the perfect crime.
Yeah.
And then he just gets spotted right before he can slip under the underpass.
Valiant effort nonetheless. But yeah, 13-10. T's feeling it now. Maybe getting a little bit warmed up to each other just as well as they are in the game. You know, not just fragging, but in your ability to work together, talk to each other, no voices, all those things that maybe we overlook as casters or fans sitting at home. Nevertheless, Scaries Baers hot on the full frontal attack, going for maybe a little bit more of aggressive mid control. We see 2 smokes going out, window and top mid. Nope, just Innocent. And heavy upper B play coming out from Scaries Baers, which I believe we've seen more than maybe once this game.
A lot in the pistol rounds. Not so much outside of it. Dima is actually going to kind of get lured through the smoke. He sort of lost himself. Bu might have the better of him. Oh, Dima responds well, though. There's the snap with the AK. Finds the head. And he's dropping more bodies here on A. So that's gonna readjust where the Scaries Baers want to go off the back of those couple of quick kills. Now A is ripe for the taking. And while the CTs are getting into position, they really don't have enough to work with to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, Bu dropped that snacks flash essentially at A ramp, went through the smoke, and Dima caught a good portion of it. I mean, you're moving through that, you have no vision whatsoever because 1, you're standing behind a smoke, but 2, you're blind. And he has the presence of mind to be like, okay, if I try and retreat off this or hide or swing and fight, which is something that I think I would have as a natural reaction as a player. Dima and Taurus close things out with nice headshots. But he has the presence of mind to say like, nope, just going to go into the smoke, see you later. And after his blindness clears, he's able to swing out and find that kill, which could have actually, I mean, you would have ceded all of A control and given an AK away right away at the beginning of the round, which could have been really dangerous. Instead, he comes out with 2 big kills, clears the site. Well done. 13-11 now. This game is getting close.
What's interesting is the Doodle Bears have been kind of hamstringing themselves with these sort of little mini forced buys, buying up a little bit. I mean, it's the classic rank S, rank G style where you want to have something to contest in every round. But now you've got Kirokami on Afamas, you've got limited utility. Ska really has nothing into it. A single kit, again, on Kirokami, who's going to be playing under the palace balcony. That's a big first frag, though. Skadoodle, the protracted spray battle, comes out on top. but Innocent's going to mop up the mistake and trade out too. Still a man advantage for the CT side, and the bomb is dropped at the top of mid, so they'll have to go all the way back around to claim it if it comes to this. And dropping down, they give Kirokami the opportunity, but he doesn't have the gun for it.
I wonder if that was planned. Did they discuss anything, or are they just like, let's go out Palace, okay? And they just both drop together, and it's just like you just became someone's worst nightmare on accident.
Look at this gap. Look at this gap in the smoke, though.
Oh, it's a perfect jungle smoke. You ask anybody on Mythic, that's what mine look like.
That's exploitable. Crash is going to be looking for it. Boy, he might find the timing as well. It's perfect. And he knows, since Sean is alone here throwing a ton of utility, that that's a bit of a bait, but there's not the reaction quite fast enough. Now Crashies has wind of it. He's just sniffed what's happened. He's quick on the rotation, but he's probably not quick enough, as that bomb is certainly going to be planted. And Zaydish is going to get himself a nice 1v2 clutch situation.
As a player, that really actually would make me uncomfortable, but they basically just split the bomb sites and said 50-50 shot. If you get a free one, I'm coming over to you, and if not, I'm going B with it. And now Zaydish, who is your hot player, he's playing really well. He's in a 1-on-2. Very winnable.
Certainly is. He's going to be looking for the low HP player first as well. That's Seb coming out of the market, who's going to give him the shot. Now it's a 1v1. They both know where each other are. The smoke goes down. He doesn't know if he's hopped on, but that's the reveal. Crashies knows he's into the duel, but he'll still win it out. Crashies doesn't have time. There's no kit. The round is lost. It's going to be 12 for the Scaries Baers.
And it pays off. I mean, you could even hear my voice like, oh, so close. No, they win it.
They win
13-12. I mean, able to take that situation. It was basically a 2-on-3. I think it was Dima finds one and then just kind of escapes onto the A-bomb site, and just being able to, or maybe it was Seangares. Who was that A? I don't remember. I have short-term memory loss, I guess.
I'm there too. It's a living life 155 at a time, right?
Regardless, one went A, one basically went B, and Zaydish was able to basically get a bomb plant for free, no challenges, and gets to take a 1-on-1 before fighting the second player, and enough time it ticked away. Now it's 13-12. One-way molly coming in, but no window smoke to follow.
There's that saved op at the very least. That's something to work with here, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what you need to fear here. So maybe an A execute or just something grouped all 5 together so that op doesn't just absolutely slay you. So they're going to opt to walk out, contact, and Dima finds one on the Crashies. Hero actually almost able to grab some map control and an AK. Bu finds one, and now it's a 3-on-2. Dima and Seangares.
This is so dangerous.
Yeah, onto a force buy coming out from the CTs being far more deadly than we anticipated.
The problem here is also they've spent a ton of their utility and not really been able to execute off of it, right? So now they're into the last dregs of what they've got, and the initial smokes are fading, and this A-bomb site is wide open. They'll drop a single smoke to allow Dima to get forward, and I love the way he's working this. Nearly finds the frag, does the damage at the very least, but now the jig is up. They know where he's at, and they can just wait for him. The plant has to come through, and there's enough eyes here that they should be able to punish it. Oh, that's exactly where they're at. Scott trying to dig out a player from under the balcony. It's not quite going to happen, but now he gets altitude. Misses the shot, is damaged in turn, but his teammates are getting forward, and Bu and Ska going to chime in for the frags and claim a very important round. This could have been the swing for them.
You know, I was about to cut you off right there. Skadoodle was poised for the jump over stairs play, was holding at connector, and I believe it was Bu got peeked at connector right there from Dima in sight. And Scott just shoots instinctively through triple, gives away his position. They know it's a 2-on-3 and prompts the bomb plant. I mean, once you know that there's only one CT, it means they're not going to swing on you. He's going to be the safe player. And you were able to get a bomb plant down. And suddenly it's a 2-on-3. I thought that was very winnable towards the end. I mean, that was a force buy coming out from Doodle Baers, 14-12. Huge win for them. It's not all said and done for Scaries Baers. This is still a very winnable round. And there's still a few rounds left to play, so...
It's not over till it's over.
Yeah, Bomb's moving towards upper B. I imagine this will probably turn into some kind of an A fake into a B play, but...
Look at this aggression from Seb, though. He's got the edge of the smoke. Oh, as they come around. That's going to be perfect for him. He's missed it. There's the hesitation, but he still finds the frag.
So strong. We were talking about it before we started the cast today and at the beginning of the stream. Seb is the guy who we mentioned would work by himself and be really strong on the map. At upper B on both sides, he's been finding entries for his team. And right there is no different. Actually, Demo's going to walk out of A-ramp and drop the Opera onto the CT side. That's Skadoodle falling. Kiro's able to trade it out, but 3-on-4. Some holes in the CT defense. It's just a matter of the teams being able to exploit it. Crashy's actually responding on the Innocent. first to push out of upper B. Seangares to follow with the trade. Seb picks that up, still at 13 HP. He's still kicking. Boo drops for Torres, and now it's a 15-12 scenario where you get 3 tries to tie this up. That was probably going to be your last real full buy. Now you're on pistol armor, maybe some MAC 10s for...
Data's going straight to the MAC. Now here's the question, right? Here's the classic. So we have the NA team against the EU team, effectively. I mean, Sean obviously is still on his squad of EU players. But the classic thing in NACS is getting to that 15th round and then letting your foot off the gas and giving it up and choking away until it's either a tie or they get to like 14 and then you finally close it out. So the question is, do Doodle Baers have it in them to just shut it down right now? They've got every advantage in the book possible this round. Do they have enough to just say, nah?
I'll be honest, a few seconds ago I was excited to find out, and now I've got anxiety. You're making me nervous, man. Nevertheless, the A execute is coming out. 4 up A ramp, 1 out Palace. That's Dima finding one on Akira with stairs. And now CT's going to have to play retake game on the A bomb site. You have 1 hot flank coming into A ramp, and Dima might just get back in time. But no, that's Innocence that's actually going to fall to Crashies on that A ramp flank. They all know he's there.
There's going to be
three players in A ramp waiting for him. There's nothing he can do. Zadish finding that one, and now it's Seangares and Skadoodle probably going to try and save this.
I don't know if he'll be able to. They're going to chase him down. There's no reason not to. They invested so little into this and stole so much away. They take that op out of play, and now there's still a possibility. Kirakami can drop it, but it's, I mean, that's huge. That's a big swing round. They get aggressive, they go momentum, and Doodle Baers just weren't ready for it.
Yeah. My anxiety's been upgraded to level 2, and now you're looking at an actual choke, 15-13. We could be seeing OT, especially with the CTs opting to buy here. I mean, I'm not sure as confident as they may be playing.
Well, they've got plenty
saved. They have money for the so they have the money to buy next. But I still feel like there is a contingent of players who would go for a reset. You know what I mean? Like just snap buy into it. Happy to see that that's not the case. They'll be just fine in this next round. Kiro's going to fall. Overpeaking window just a bit. Frag grenade to the face will take care of that. Crash, he's stuck towards his ladder behind a smoke. You know, the CT being able... If you're working Deegs on the CT side, it really comes down to just playing together on the Ts to clear all these angles out, not give any picks. 5 alive, 2 to go. You know, maybe reassess what we're talking about when it comes to these eco rounds where, yeah, it's a pug and it's rank S. But Scaries Baers is running an efficient default. They really are clearing out all the angles. They are playing it like they're an actual team. And I think that's something that I alluded to as probably not being likely to happen, but here we are, and it's proving to be very strong. And Doodle Baers are struggling. Oh. Wow. Boo with 3 now.
Boo. He's got 3 with the Deagle. He's going into it, trying to find a 4th, trying to just get into it. He's going with a knife. Phew, that's maybe a little overconfident. Zadish puts him down, but
a little bit of soul.
You got to imagine the flare. You got to respect it. You got to respect the attempt.
Dude, we're at the rank S Combine. If you're not going for a knife at least once in the game, you're not having fun.
Bonita got it in the first game. The backstab through. That's the only knife we've seen so far, but I respect the attempt. Boo just styling on him. Dirty.
That's one of those rounds where, like, the round ends and your IGL's like, guys, what happened? And there's no response. People just get like, I don't know, we got owned, man.
We got deeked on.
We got owned, dude. I don't know. 15-14. Scaries Baers struggling.
They don't have a lot of utility here. Smokes, that's about it. I mean, a little bit past it. You were saying they invested just a little bit into the previous round, and we're seeing the effects of it. Just very little in the utility game.
Yeah, I do think on some level, you know, being able to have CT side utility is a luxury, but I think you do need to have a plan for when you can't play your normal game, right? If you can't smoke this, what are you going to do about it? You can't post an op on it. What are we going to do? And here it is, Boo with an M4 in window, just trying to take some long-range duels, and he loses. 5v4 now.
He had the opportunity, he had the exposure, but
able
he just
to even things up, and then Kira with another. They're both going to get traded out. Now it's Ska and Crashies 2-on-2. Crashies valiantly falling over there at Get Right, but now it's Ska and Market. He's going to find the first bomb carrier down. Innocent, 6 HP, just meters in front of Skadoodle, and he's not able to find the kill just yet, but they both know where they are, and Innocent's going to push it to OT. Ska falls. Beautiful job from Scaries Baers to push this to a 15th and final round of the half. Now
All
we're
it
looking
would
at
have taken
OT.
was a single pistol shot, Lex.
Oh my
One
goodness.
pistol shot, and he didn't realize how low the player was, so he's trying to do it with the op, and he just can't find the
What's
shot.
crazy about it is he's right on him through the edge of that door, and
And if
I
he
thought
clicks,
the
oh,
first
God.
shot, like, okay, maybe a miss. But the second one, I was like, eyes closed, just like head down, like, rest in peace, innocent. It was a valiant effort. Nope. Able to find the kill. Game of angles, Ska falls, and now we're in OT.
All smiles over on the Scaries Baers side. That was a little unexpected. When Ska hits the first, you would just imagine he can close it out, but well played. Well played by Innocent. Just to bring that through. So now it's OT. We got all of the money in the world, 16K. Cash-ola for days. And the Doodle Baers, they got to get into it. Interesting that they don't break out the double op. I kind of expected that with the full OT economy, but they're going to stay a little conservative here. Get the AUGs instead.
Ooh.
Nice first shot from Crashies. That's a tricky spot. Just up, looking straight into the underpass with an AUG. And now Kirakami up close. Despite the scopes
So
on these
much
guns,
damage
they're
going
not playing at range at all. And he's just kind of the bait because there's somebody further along. They're getting chewed up coming out of ramp. Finally, Sean will answer back, but now he's the only one left for his squad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound condescending, but the way that Doodle Baers is playing their CT side now is almost more catered to what I would expect in a rank S or a rank G game, where they're just playing like 3 in the A-bomb site and close A ramp, just expecting a walkout, expecting some scrimmy strategies, and they actually got it that time. I mean, I was giving a lot of praise to the default coming out from Scaries Baers, but they still opt to kind of like have that fast and loose. I believe Sponge calls it heads-up Counter-Strike. Like, we're going to contact out A and just see where the trades land us. They got nothing there. Ska, cat jump, success. 5-on-4. He will actually fall Zadish, the titan of the Scaries Baers side that's been just dominant throughout this game, able to find the first for his team. Now it's 16-15, 4-on-4. Clock ticks away. T-side mid-control is achieved. Bomb still down back towards that TV area. But as the lurk comes out of Palace, Innocent finds one towards mid, I believe.
I imagine that was Crashies trying to push through Cat.
Yeah.
Trying to find the timing. Very
He's got one
Crashies.
mode, dude, and it's go.
It really is.
I have not seen him walk anywhere.
He's just got a paperweight on his W key, and he's just negotiating where it goes. Zadish finds two, another big performer this game. It's all just Seb, who is living that lonely life as a B anchor, where you're like, all right, do I go for this? Like, it's overtime, so of course you do. There's no reason not to. But it's just such a lose-lose type of situation. So he's dropped 16-16. The Doodle Baers, they give up another one. Scaries Baers making this very close here in overtime.
29-22. Who invited the Swedish kid? How's that fair? You know what I mean? Like, man, he's playing out of his mind. That round was nuts. The fact that, like, we're now on the third round of OT, and you have all the confidence and all the momentum in the world. You definitely, like you said at the end of regulation right there, those guys are all smiles. All it takes is a couple clutches, couple big plays, and another Palace pop coming out from
This time
Doodle
it works
Baers.
out. Kirakami, he tucked himself in. I don't think he'd been doing that previously, so that little change of a wrinkle works out. Boo tries to peek it with the USP out. Not so successful. Smokes will now go down to cover.
Is what happened right there. But 3-on-3 now. Or 3-on-4 rather. Skadoodle drops that molly towards the default. We'll find no one. Tor is stuck in this bench smoke. 3-on-3. Seb able to find a grenade onto Seangares, and now as the post plant kind of creeps in, the mid flank will come around. Ska aware of it, threatened by it. Knows there's still one towards jungle too, so he's potentially clinging towards 2 players over here at mid. Knows the info now. Crashies trades the first one on jungle, and now it's Innocent in another clutch scenario. 1v2 from Connector. Not going to get it. Crashies with a huge round with Seb retaking. Wow, that was a chaotic series of events. I didn't mean to cut you off right there, but I was so confused as to what's like. He died with the US.
It was very odd.
Okay.
It was very odd. I'm not quite sure what the move was there from Bu. Scott just wound up in a tough situation in the connector where he knew that he had been watching for the flank early. The flank was slower than anticipated. Then he knows there's a player in jungle, and it's like, I am stuck here. Let's see how this goes.
But the beautiful thing is that he clearly relayed that information right away. Crashies and Seb were keen to it. Being able to drop that smoke, find the frags where they were, well done. And I think my confusion all started with the names being backwards. I called too many Baers, man.
Too many Baers. Scaries Baers, Doodle Baers. It sounds like the worst children's show I've ever seen.
We're the best.
Or the best. That's true. It's possible. They're straight out on towards B, and they are getting shredded by the Augs and the utility here. It's just a slaughter fest, and Crashes will answer back. That's 2 quick headshots out of the apartments, doing much what we've seen of him all game, but the health is just a little bit too low to take the aim duel, and so many CTs are here that at this point the Doodle Bear is just going to have to readjust and get out of there. Skadoodle's going to stick around and try and find some more shots out of the apartments, but his teammate, meanwhile, Kirakami, has got a lot of room to rumble. Question is, where does he take it?
Yeah, I think with this much time left on the clock, you know, you just failed your contact rush. Perhaps pushing in, pursuing more picks is risky. Kirakami to 1-on-3. This is probably who I would want to be in this scenario. Somebody who is very aware of what's going on in the game. He's able to find one into Seangares, who's re-aggroing for that map control and some early info, but he does have a teammate backing him up on Innocent, so not a whole lot of threat there. Kirakami is maybe going to have 5 to 10 seconds if Innocent isn't hearing this right now to make his play, make his move, whether he wants to go out upper or just double back entirely.
I think Innocent was too far away. He didn't hear the drop down.
I don't think he did either.
That's huge.
So
that's big.
This is what I mean by having Kirakami. He's very aware of what's going on. He knows where both those CT players are. Now that Zaydish just scoped in at jungle, I wonder whether or not he pulls off the plant, tries to go for a frag here.
That's bold.
And he doesn't get it. Zaydish all too strong on apparently the AWP just as well as the AK-47.
I like that idea, though. He says, you know what, I'm probably not winning a 2v1 if they play together in the retake, so I isolate one. I know exactly where he is. I'm going to try and bait him out with the plant so he'll peek into it, and then I find the frag. And Zaydish just was so perfect in the way he played that.
Yeah, I mean, it literally just came down to maybe a few inches where you find the angle on that Alpha trying to cross into that cubby. Maybe you get the kill, and suddenly it's a one-on-one with Innocent on the other side of Eternity. Unfortunately, didn't bounce back that way. Bomb plant, not really a whole lot of importance in this OT scenario. So you wanted the round win there. Unfortunately, didn't get it. And now Doodle Bears scouting out that mid-control. Crashies finds one onto an over-aggressive Seangares. He falls, now 5-on-4. Dima over there towards that connector area, the last bastion of hope. Actually, he has some support from window now, so these players, CT side, probably going to be conceding a little bit of map control as they try to close up these gaps, and Ska's going to find another onto Dima. And now it's gaping at this point. I mean, Innocent knows they're not in mid, knows they're probably regrouping, and I think we might just see a gamble A-stack call here or something that ensures the CTs have a fighting chance in this round, but so far, Ska already posted in Palace.
This isn't a terrible setup from the CTs, actually, and Zaydish, who's been such a strong performer for them, is at that ticket position. So he's going to have the opportunity, but Boo will cut that opportunity short, ripping his head from his shoulders and now the sight from his grasp. That bomb will certainly be planted. There's plenty of time to work with. The CTs are caught out, and there's just a hail of bullets through any choke point they might come through. Taurus is the last to take a tough decision and try and hop up, and now Doodle Bears are once again one round away from closing this out. The question is, can they do so, or are Scaries Bears about to take us to double OT?
I don't know, man, but I tell you what, the idea that Doodle Bears would come in here and be pushed to OT and vice versa, I mean, there's not a whole lot that we can predict going into these matches, but I tell you what, they have, both sides, I think, on both halves, actually, have drawn a surprising, I'll say surprising for me at least, amount of team chemistry and just willingness to kind of follow through with these strats, and they're looking good. Honestly, like,
is that a double
the teamwork is impressive coming out from Doodle Bears, but, you know, perhaps a lot of that has to do with the character of the squad assembled. Ska, well done.
Well done. Good drafting. Good drafting. We'll see if that drafting delivers, because there is still another round they have to win. And yeah, super passive, which is unusual for the Scaries Bears, or for the Doodle Bears rather, that they're not just straight pushing at the beginning of the round. I think there was some aggression at mid last round that they waited for, and it paid off. So maybe they're like, let's see if they'll do it again. Let's just find out. Now it's going to be the late, delayed mid-aggression. They're taking full control, and the CTs have fallen off of it. The crossfire from Connector and Catwalk going to be the answer, and it's Dima who may be the first to be tested. He's just looking for this first hop-up, and it's a slow play from the Doodle Bears. This may be the slowest round we've seen so far this game.
I think you're absolutely right by saying so. Demon actually going to find the first on the set. That's a boost going on from under window to try and see that catwalk angle. Nice thought. But it was Baron playing to see if Demon finds that first, and now Zaydish finding another. Now it's a 5-on-3. Doodle Bears desperate to find this frag at stairs. And actually, Kirakami on this side of the map is going to find the first on Torres. That leg shot now called a kill by Scott. And Crash, he's finding one of his own. Now it's a 3-on-2. The situation has flipped, momentum turned, and the A bomb site in possession of the T's. Scott even holding onto that jungle area with an AWP in hand. And this smoke at CT's about to fade. Sean finds one. Almost grabs a second. Crash, he's low now at default. Needs to win this duel. Does not. Seangares 1-on-2. Scott, can you get it done? No. Dima is there with the flank. And now we're looking at
double OT, baby.
Double OT.
Double OT. They're just out to ruin our schedule, folks. There was a timer on that position for Scan with the flank coming through jungle. It is just punished. I mean, that was... I thought Sean might have won that round if he got there before the bomb went down. Bomb still gets planted, but he's able to convert after it. Big push through CT.
I mean, he must have timinged Crashies really hard. I mean, like, you're planting the bomb and your teammate... You know your teammate is definitely not going to be paying direct attention to that CT spawn smoke, but it's always going to be in their mind and cognizant. Maybe the timing of the peak is just like, I saw him cross behind default, and that's all Sean took. Smoke starts fading. He's already through it. He gets vision on both, and it's just a matter of seconds at that point. Sean capitalizes on both. Huge play from him to close out that round, and now we're looking at double OT, 18 apiece.
I mean, this is now twice that the Doodle Bears have held map point. This is now twice. They had 3 rounds on the first where they had the chance to close it out. They had 1 round on this. So they've now had 4 opportunities to close out this game, and each one has slipped through their fingers.
Do you know what this comes down to? I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't believe in jinxes.
Okay.
It's a load. I don't believe in any of that.
I
don't subscribe to it. But one of the two of us, nice shot, Ska. One of the two of us said at 15-12, is this going to be a tale of classic NA choking to go to OT? So, well, we're in double OT now.
It's my fault.
Thanks for that.
It's all my fault. I did it. I did it to him. Ska's going to open it up, though. He's low. This is potentially problematic. Dima finds the timing. He's been great at this, just finding the exact time to peek somebody who has a nade out. Seb will bring back 1 in a tough situation, but the health is just not there for the remaining Doodle Bears players. It's Ska on 4 HP, and Crashies who's going to have to do the majority of the work. To be fair, he's apparently up to the task. There's 1 and the second as well. Crashies has the third! He spins! Crashies, what a play to get 19 rounds. And you know what it is? This is now the second time where they had map point, couldn't get the round, and then the round immediately afterwards they win it.
And it's Crashies coming up big with a random 3K.
He's on 37 kills in the game.
Yeah. Shout out Crashies.
Shout out Crashies.
Have a game, bro.
He stopped holding W quite as hard, and he's still fragging.
Nah, there's no such thing as somebody who lets go of W. It's just somebody who presses it less hard one round to the next. Trust me on this one. He knows what he's doing. He's a man on a mission. He wants to win. A straw of smoke goes out, some mid-aggression that actually did formulate out of Scaries Baers.
They fall off it pretty quickly, though. Yeah. And this is... Doodle Bears have reacted to this. They've been delaying the mid-take every round, but the gap in the cat smoke is going to be exploited by Dima, and Taurus answers back with another. They've been tossing that op around, trading who's going to get the opportunity to op, and this time Taurus strikes. That's the timing from Zadish as well. Kirakami just can't get lucky in his move in towards A, and this round has been picked apart. The Doodle Bears looking scarce, looking like they've got nothing but skin left on their bones as they really are just going to rely on the op of Ska to try and open this.
Yeah, and really because we're now seeing Doodle Bears kind of move into this more passive default where they're awaiting some of the CTs to use their utility. They've done that probably 2 or 3 rounds now towards the end of this game. And yes, it was reactionary and it was in response. And last frag, Seb over here at ladder, sure to fall to Dima in just a moment.
Seb always has the right idea.
Yeah.
And it's just too tough a situation. But he's always got the right idea.
Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about, but that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. We are now, what is this, 38 rounds in?
38 rounds in.
It's an aggressive number.
That's almost as many kills as Crashies. Wait, darn it. That's 1 more kill than what Crashy has.
Dang, Crashies. You're not sustaining that 1 kill round.
Yeah?
Not sustaining it. We need you to step up. Need a 2K in this round. Need to make it happen. It's going to be Taurus, who actually gives Kirakami it wasn't a haircut because it wasn't a headshot, but it was dang close to it. Shoulder shave. Just that my shoulder bones are a little too wide. Dima instead's going to open her up. And he's knocked a little low, but still, big advantage early for the Scaries Baers.
Yeah, actually, this is the perfect round to kind of showcase what I actually remembered just now what I was saying, which is that they stopped doing this aggressive default. Here it is in play. They actually have some map control at 121. Ska's already posted a con. Finds the frag of Taurus, which is what they were doing all during regulation. Dima punishing them again at mid. Once those smokes have faded, I've seen Boo, I've seen Crashies, and I've seen Skadoodle all die to that same peak at around the same time. Zydish, though, dropping Crashies. Dire straights for the T's, now in a 2-on-4. Dima low, but the rest very healthy. And one in Palace, that will be Seb, peeking out aggressively, trying to find some hero, and he will grab Innocent. That's Peeker's advantage right there for you, but...
It's not really a thing here on land.
It's still a thing in a video game. We don't need to get into that, though. It's still a thing. Peeker's
Is it?
advantage? Yes. It's
had
just
a lot of that
far
to do with
minimized on land.
Vastly
You
minimized.
can hold angles realistically here.
Zydish is blind. He's got a player right above him, but he doesn't realize. Now he's got it. Kirakami had no idea there was a player right under his gaze. So he'll be dropped. It's just Seb who's stuck in towards the sandwich, and they will make a meal of him. Dropping it. Finally, an advantage for the Scaries Baers. It's now 20-19.
Wow.
They only need 2 more to close it out. This is the first time in a long time that they've had the lead.
Yeah, I don't even... You're moving over to the CT side now, and a 3-0 would do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what Doodle Baers does. I mean, the very first momentum that they had in their CT side half came off the back of their heavy aggression, going for pushes. In OT, it's a little bit more difficult, if not just risky outright, to do that because you've already shown your hand and what you can do to your opponents. They've already seen it. Seangares and Dima opening that mid push, shutting it down. Seb will trade out 1, but the A bomb site is forfeit. 3-on-3 now. Ska able to even things back up, but Taurus over here at the CT spawn taking to his position is the next threat, and he dispatches of him with equal quickness. Ska just hot on the op. It's like he never left. Now it's a 3-on-2 retake. Seangares catching that pop flash for Innocent. Gets no one. Crashies trades it. Seangares now in a 1-on-2. Seb finishes it.
They knew exactly where he was, and as soon as that happens, he knows he's in such a tough spot. He's like, all right, I have to cut 1 off, chuck the molly, just a little bit too late, gets caught out from the stairs position. That, I mean, that op from Ska was just a sledgehammer, opening up that post-plant situation, just knocking the doors down and giving them a little bit of space to work with. So now we're tied up again, 20-20. You think what do you think?
Don't ask me.
Don't say it?
Don't even look
Don't
at
say
me
the
and
words?
ask me that.
I'm not going to say the words.
Don't ask me anything like that.
I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my bones.
I think we're going to see 4 OTs here.
Feeling
we're going to
it
be
in
here
my
all
bones.
day.
I'm starting to get hungry for some Chipotle. I'm sure the players are as well. So thoughts of that victory burrito coursing through their brains. Let's see if they can claim it. It's going to be players standing off nearly back-to-back over at the A ramp. And it's going to be Kirakami who's getting aggressive and does win out the kill. Catches Seangares in rotation away from the position. Now the boost into window is the answer, but there's such a great crossfire set up for it. And Zydish gets caught. That was the big gun from the Scaries Bear side as well. And that's rough to lose. He's been a high performer for them. Now 2 men down. What's the response? Are we going to get another map point from the Doodle Bears?
It's...
This would be the
Stop asking me things like that, man. If I answer honestly, then we end up in 5 OTs. He gets really hungry. Crashies finds 1, but Dima with a nice wallbang through triple onto Ska. Innocent finds another, and suddenly this is a 2-on-3. Very winnable. Plenty of time left on the clock. Bomb in possession of Innocent, moving back through T-spawn here.
Look at Kirakami's spot, though. Oh, he just needs to be looking the right direction. If he reads this and just sits and waits for that flank, for that, it's rather not a flank, for that push through A ramp, oh, he's got them.
Yeah, the
distracted.
difficult decision you make here is you know that they have connector, possibly jungle control. Well, it's about to change now if he's throwing nades over A ramp. Forget I said anything. Innocent making tons of noise towards this A ramp position. He's clearing things out. Hero has moved, but the timing is just not there. 15 HP left on him. He's traded out by Dima. Now it's a 2-on-2 situation. A bomb site clung by Boo over there. Never mind. Dima drops him, deletes him. Headshot. 1-on-2 situation now. Seb, once again, called upon by his squad mates to get this done. Finds 1 onto Dima. That's a nice shot from him. Pins him back towards default. Innocent needs to swing, and he does. Grabs Seb. And
That's
now
huge.
it's 21-20 with a huge one-tap AK headshot coming out from Innocent on the Seb. You love to see it.
Finally a map point for the Scaries.
And that was a 3-on-5 that turned into a 2-on-4. So you're looking at a huge round win that definitely should not have been dropped by Doodle Baers.
I'm not sure what happened with Kirakami there. I think he may have been distracted or confused about where the utility came from because he did not respond to the ramp presence at all.
Yeah, I think maybe I used the word earlier, and I hate to use it, but maybe I jinxed him by saying now he definitely realizes with the AIDS coming. Because he definitely did not. Ska making the catch up again. I don't think I've seen him not get a kill when he's done this. I think it's the third time I've seen him get a pick a catch jump. Well done from Ska. And even just having this in a 5v4, I mean, forget about the player count for a second. You have so little utility to work with as it is at this stage in the round, and have it be one full player less. Even getting dropped there is not good, but Crashies, I'm not even sure where that was on the map.
It was Palace. It was a peek out Palace towards jungle. Torres has been doing really well with that op now that they swapped it over, and they tried it on Zadish, they tried it on Innocent.
He was really struggling early on in this game, but now he's back in it, and I think it's because he's maybe been main opping for the most part.
It's been a good wrinkle for them, without a doubt. Right. Bu is going to have to come up big here. He's got the player coming over from connector. The bomb is all the way back towards B, though, and that's going to be, I think, Ska holding it down. There's the tiny numbers on my screen or representative. So this could get interesting. Maybe a little bit of distraction. If they manage to draw Ska off of this, that's a site vulnerable. And if they manage to drop out apartments without him realizing what's going on, this could be very dangerous. But now the player's coming up catwalk. There's just going to be the one making the push out of Palace, who hasn't really found any contact as of yet. Bu finds the first. There's the second from Ska. They're shutting it down. It's all just Seangares, the leader himself, who's got it all to do. 30 seconds and 4 players to find, and he's dueling off against the other veteran captain, his old teammate, playing ring around the rosy, and the op's gonna come out on top. 21-21.
No way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the overtime, it will not end.
Why do you keep saying things like this? It's got to end. Eventually it'll end. Stop saying it won't.
Well, I mean, the law of entropy says eventually we'll all end.
Okay. So now we're...
That's how far we're getting. We're fatalistic at this point. So this is triple OT?
You a warrior philosopher right now? You just
triple OT? I'm laying some
or
knowledge
you
out here.
an astrophysicist? One or the other.
One of the two.
Nevertheless, I'm just saying that you seem to be like every time that you say, "Well, are we going to see another OT?"
I'm kind of into it at this point. On the one hand, I want food. On the other hand, I'm kind of really enjoying this madness.
Me too.
Dima's going to get the opener.
You know what? He's either finding multiple entries or he's the one getting entried, and it's no different here. Dima coming up huge once again with 2. Split into the bomb site, just picked apart. Ska finds another, and now it's a 3-on-3. He actually burns alive. I take it all back. 2-on-3 now. Ska falls.
That was filthy, though.
Well, I mean, his shots are unparalleled, but even he cannot resist the flames. You have to wait till... Never mind. We're about to start talking Game of Thrones references. I'm going to stop.
Start just spoiling things for the audience. It's a bold strategy. Seb,
what?
He's trying to get this AUG in. He's trying to get some space in. But it's a tough situation. Innocent was rock solid before, but he can't win out this spray. Bodies being traded. It's all on Seb.
Actually,
there's the first.
Should be the round. Yeah, Zadish is able to get it. They dropped the site they dropped that smoke mid site, which may have at least opened the opportunity for them to be able to isolate one or the other and then move for a defuse. But as soon as you get that kill of Kiro crossing into sight, it's just unfortunate timing from him. That 1-on-2 becomes basically unwinnable. Zadish closes it out. Well done from him. And now you're looking at 22-21. Doodle Baers. What do you got to say about it, Mike?
Who's got more endurance at this point? This is a marathon.
Do we or do they? Or are you asking?
All of the above. I mean, we're on this, Mike, whether we've got the endurance or not. So we better find the reserves right now. It's going to be aggression in. Ska this time not making the catwalk jump, and he's burned out of window. It's left to Bu, who's being pushed back. This aggressive mid-take is yielding results. Tons of utility being dumped to force them off the position and give the Ts firm control of mid. You're seeing the adjustment out from the CTs. They're trying to just sort of hem them in, pen them in almost. It's like the sheepdog approach. And this aggression from Seb is rewarded. That's perfect. Catches Innocent, and now they're kind of had the decision made for him.
I was about to ask a question. I was like, they used to be pushing Palace in A ramp for map control. I'm wondering why they're not doing it, because they're doing exactly as you described. But normally when they've done this successfully, it's because they've played map control elsewhere, and the camera immediately flips to Seb at upper B, pushed through into kitchen, finding 1. That's huge. Now you basically have assured that the B bomb site cannot be taken from upper. We'll see if that holds true. But a one-way, dealing a little bit of damage towards Dima there. The CTs must know they're up catwalk. Crashies, though, and Seb getting traded out immediately. So now it's a 3-on-3. The bomb site is firmly in the hands of the T's. You might see a nade kill or no nade damage at all.
Not sure how that worked out. It looked like it was right on him, but it's going to turn out nicely for the T's. It's Taurus and Ska, and we saw Ska in a previous situation where he had a player who was low HP with the op. He's going to miss the shot this time as well. Taurus has it. Oh, just a slip of the finger and you miss the shot. That's going to be 23 rounds for the Scaries Baers, and this is looking like they might finally be on the road to closing it out.
Man, you saw the light bulb go on. Like, somebody clearly had calmed to Ska a second before, like, yo, he's cat. And the light bulb goes on. He knows the play he needs to make. He even swings the corner, like, ready for the quick scope. But nobody expects Taurus standing in the middle of that entryway like that. Just several feet removed from the brick. Ska wasn't ready for it. He was caught off. Nice play from him. Nerves of steel to close that one out. That's how you end an OT. Is you grit your teeth and you play the tough. You roll the hard 6, man. Dima trading out another aggressive play from Seb at upper B, which has paid off from him once or twice before, but this time it'll cost him the trade. Not really worth it in that scenario because the B bomb site is gone. Dima finds another. Just an entry fragging machine. Innocent finds one of his own, and now it's Ska on a 1v4. Finds one on a Dima, 2 on a Taurus, and now it's Scares and Innocent 2v1. Need to somehow turn this into a magnificent 1v4 coming out from Ska. He misses a quick scope. It's not over yet, but he does fall to Innocent, and I believe now we have a map point reversed.
They would need 3 in a row. They would need 3 in a row from the Doodle Baers. Scaries Baers 1 away from closing this out. It almost felt like Ska could do it in that round.
I had full faith.
I had full faith as well.
What Caster Lex was going to be saying, like,
as he clutched it.
Yeah, no, I was mentally preparing for that. Nevertheless, an 0-3 half. Now switched onto the CT side. Scary Baers going 3-0. Strong T side. Now they're on their, well, I was going to say easy side, but nothing's easy when you're facing down the op at a 1v1 against Ska, as demonstrated by Taurus there. His face is gone. 5-on-4. T's plenty of time. Minute 30 left.
Ska wants this. I mean, he has turned into a killing machine in overtime. I think he's got 40 kills now with that last one.
Popping off.
He is really popping off here in overtime. So he wants it. He is the blunt instrument that they want to just smash open sights with. And he might get the opportunity. No one really wants to test him in mid now. He's laid his territory, right? He laid down the challenge, threw down the gauntlet. Hey, this is mine, not yours. Try and test me.
Yeah, I think this is, like, somebody needs to come up with a scientific name for it, like the Astralis effect, where a really good player or somebody you're afraid of wins one gunfight, and everybody else is just like, well, we're never going mid ever again.
We lost that part of the map. It's his now. He put a sign up.
Yeah, like, we're not going to beat that. Have fun, do whatever.
Look at the space they've given them towards A. They've pulled all the way back. So much respect. And now as soon as the utility comes out, they're going to be locked out of sight, and they're just going to be able to waltz on in. Finally, you're going to see Innocent get back in, but he's just got the op, and if there's a lot of bodies coming through, he might find himself in a tough situation. Now the utility will certainly make that true. He did spot the Palace cross, but it's all going to be about timing, and he just doesn't have it. Now they're pushed back. The bomb will be planted. It's a 5-on-4. They've only got 20 seconds to do so, but they should have a safe plant. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now bomb down. This is such a mess. The shots are raining through. The damage is being done. But ultimately, it's still even in terms of the numbers. 4-on-4, and now they move through. Dima opening this up. He is the wrench, and they are unbolting the round. Still, a player up in Palace could hold. And this gets very awkward. They have to move through. He can hear the scope, and that distracts Seb enough for Sean to get into position, but time is ticking down. It's Crashies and Ramp. The last one they have to uproot, and they will do so. The defuse comes in, and that should be the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Scaries Baers have done it. They have triumphed. They have fought back from so many potential map points from the Doodle Baers, and they have come out on top.